If you are watching us this morning and you are retired, good for you, and we hope that you're enjoying every single minute of it. So do our next guests, Jay and Brittany Hagee. They're back on the show with Alon Planning Partners, and I guess the ideal situation for you is that you watch your clients launch into retirement. Yes. They've done all the things to prepare, and they can enjoy it.
Absolutely, that's what we hope for, and we try to, those folks who are helping get into retirement, or those that are in retirement right now that come to us for the first time, are what are some of those costly and hidden mistakes that we don't want to see people make. We want them to see them selling smoothly through retirement, not hitting bumpy seas and having things go awry, right? And so we wanted to talk about a few of those today.
Yeah, we've got a few that we see kind of consistently people get hung up on. And so that's why we kind of want to raise some awareness around today. And one of those things is taxes. Not actually planning for taxes, just paying taxes, but using tax law to help you actually make the most of what you have. For example, utilizing vehicles like Roth conversions and Roth IRAs, where you can have accounts where you pay the taxes now, but you put the money away and it grows tax-free. That is a huge benefit.
Can we pause on that one for a second? Okay, so is that then a word of advice to those who are currently working and preparing for retirement? Okay.
So yes, for folks who are currently working, they could establish that. There are income thresholds and limitations to that. We don't have time to get into all of that, but there are thresholds there. But for those who are in retirement or nearing retirement, we do what's called Roth conversions, which means you can take IRA dollars or 401k, basically tax deferred dollars, money you haven't paid taxes on, and convert a lump sum into like a Roth IRA to have that grow and take distributions tax-free later. So the strategy in that is paying it at taxes at a known rate now versus an unknown rate later.
Yeah, because in retirement you have all of this money amassed, and a lot of times in your 401ks, your 403bs, your TSPs if you work for the government, your IRAs, and you don't realize, or you may have 500,000, 100,000, $1 million saved up. That's not all your money. Right? What she's saying is in retirement, the government owns about 30% of that account. And so how do we minimize what they're getting?
Can I get in the weeds for just a second? I don't want to get you from other costly mistakes. So let's say that you've done the conversion and now you've taken, let's say you had $500,000 in an IRA, you're going to convert it to a Roth, so you'll pay the tax up front.
So, sorry to interject, I want to make sure we're clear. We would very rarely, if ever, even recommend, take your whole amount and convert it, because you're going to pay a crazy high tax rate.
We do what's called laddering
strategies. There's
strategy
in doing this. It's not this just, flip the switch and it's all done.
But can you do it over time?
That's it. That's what a laddering strategy is.
So then when you go to do your RMDs, and that's coming now out of the Roth,
well, you don't have to take
RMDs
from
and
Roth
Roths
accounts
because it's tax-free.
Again, another benefit.
The government only wants required minimum distributions from your tax-deferred accounts, your traditional IRAs. So that's the beauty about putting it in a Roth. You can also pass that money on to heirs tax-free, right? So nobody ever pays taxes anymore on those accounts. So you want to make sure you get as much money as you can before you hit that magic 73 number of RMDs into Roth vehicles.
Okay, that's one way you just save money. Give us another one.
Another one is healthcare. Folks don't really plan for healthcare. Another one is inflation, not planning for inflation or longevity. I have some advisors, we've had people come to us and say, my advisor before told me that I had enough money to live until I was 75 or 80, right? We're like, well, what happens at 80? They're like, well, I don't know. Well, I don't know what happens at 80. So we have to actually plan for longer. Obviously, that's one variable we can't control, our health and all of those things, but we can be proactive. That's the key word. That's one of our mantras. We will be proactive in our approach to these.
And I think one of the biggest ones that I may want to end on is that people need to get into a different mindset with how they invest their money in retirement. Because up until this point, you spent 30 years accumulating. You've trying to grow it. You've been able to put your head in the sand, and ups and downs of markets don't affect you so much. Well, now when you're in retirement, you're taking income out of those accounts. The down market hurts you because you don't have a chance for it to grow back. You're taking it. We have to make sure you're allocated for distribution, and not every advisor out there works like that. So we want to make sure that you are properly positioned for the stage of life you're in.
When it's your money literally on the table with them and you're looking at the figures and having them explain it, it makes so much sense. And then you get excited because it's your money they're helping
We're saving you money.
That's our goal. Make more of what you have.
Make more of what you have. Here's where you'll find them. Alon planning partners, alonplanning.com, and then there is their phone number. Thank you both so
Thank you,
much.
Julie.
I feel smarter.
Right.
Good.
Great.